Okay, good morning, friends. Welcome to July. Summer is happening, I guess. What's happening this month? What happened last month? What happened last month? Well, ladies and gentlefolk, Lady Sherlock is complete. I never thought this day would come. The coat video is going to be up and out for this weekend. And then, of course, because this project has gone on for so long, I think I'm just going to try and put together a little finale compilation, dressing, parading around New York City that's potentially maybe trying to look like London a little bit video at some point to go up before Costume College, I hope. It's been a while, and I feel like people are now unreasonably attached to this project, and everyone wants closure, right? I am laboring under the delusion for some reason that I feel like July is going to be a nice, calm, peaceful month. I don't know why I think that, because Costume College is happening at the end of July and I don't have a gala gown. I was doing fine. I was perfectly unstressed about that fact. Until I've been seeing all over social media, people are flipping out about, I'm only still on my mock-up, I'm not getting far enough on my gala gown. Wait, I haven't even started. Maybe I should be worried. So we shall see what happens with that. I have an idea, I have a sketch, I know what I'm going to do. I don't think it's going to take too terribly long, but you know, we shall see. If you missed one of my previous update videos in which I announced my plan for that, I'm planning to do a Mask of the Red Death, hence this, which if you saw the video from last week, you will have seen that, but maybe you already know what's going on. The way I've got the videos scheduled out is that there are a finite number of weeks between now and Costume College, and I want to get those videos out before Costume College, so it's not like, oh, the gala is this big surprise reveal, because I'm not really about that life. The way it's going to work out is the final gown, because I've got the coat video going up the first week of July, and then I've got, I was going to do an announcement video for this, where I take you through my whole design process, so the sketching process, the swatching process, the fabric purchasing process, the going through my stash and making decisions process. That's all going to happen. That's going to be a nice announcement so people know what I'm up to the month of July, but you know. Now, the week after that, I think I'm going to do the Lady Sherlock final closing thing, and then I think that's the last week before Costume College. Maybe. I don't know, I don't have a calendar. It works out so that this video will potentially be released to the public the Saturday of the gala. So that could be kind of cool. It could be fun. It could also be like everyone's at Costume College and nobody wants to sit down and watch the video, but you know what? It's fine. It's a thing. I've gotten this video sponsored by Audible, which is really cool, and it fits perfectly because, literature and books and stuff. Also, my general life trashness for books, which means that this video has to be up to preview to Audible, I think the Tuesday before. It also just has to be done because there's no way I'm finishing editing the video whilst I'm at Costume College on Thursday and Friday. Yes, I do think I have a little bit less time than I thought I did, which means this dress, because the video has to be edited, which means the dress has to be finished at least 3 or 4 days before the preview date of the 23rd, which means it's got to be finished the 19th. Oh my god, which is really soon. We're gonna be fine. Everything's going to be fine. This fabric, this was in my stash. You may or may not recognize it from the KonMari video, but this I was planning to use for the skirt. I do have to buy some more fabric to go with this for the other parts of the dress. It's also going to have a big veil, so that has to happen. It works out that this fabric is wide enough that I can double it up for the skirt, which means that instead of putting the selvage at the hem, I could put the folded bit at the hem. It still does puddle all over the floor, which makes a kind of cool effect with the fold in this hideous poly organza, which means I have to do no hemming, which makes me feel like this much better, I think. Again, if you didn't hear my plans for this project video, the original story was published in 1842, Mask of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. It's like a 2-page story if you want to read it. So what I wanted to do is, because obviously I won't have time to do a full 1840s gown plus all the understructures, this is going to be completely a fantasy, obviously, because I'm using red sheer poly organza. So I think I wanted to have the vague outside shape of an 1840s dress, but I'm going to do it by machine, reluctantly. I'm going to run with the fantasy element of it. I'm going to embrace this sheerness quality of it and see, for whatever I do with the bodice, keep with this sheerness. Obviously, I'm going to have to build foundations within the inside of the bodice and the skirt stuff anyway, so that at least the outer layer is sheer and you can see the inner workings of the bodice and the dress. So the seam allowances, the raw seams overcast, and the boning in the bodice, and the hooks in the eyes, and just see all of the skeletal construction of the dress. I think that could be really cool. I'm also playing with the idea of if I should incorporate blood or if that's going to be too costumey, because I know there's a description in the story that the Red Death, the character of the Red Death, shows up to this masked ball with a mask. Well, it's unclear whether or not it's a mask, I think it is, but with the face of someone who has died of this Red Death disease that they're all running away from, which involves like blood spatter across the face or something. So I might do that. The theme of the gala for Costume College is Venetian Carnival and masquerade. So some sort of facial concealment, that's where I had the idea of the veil, but I also kind of like the idea of the veil because I get to hide. That's what I'm going to be up to in the month of July, mostly just gala gown stuff and trying to keep up with video. I've gotten to the point where I don't have a backlog of video anymore, so I'm just literally running weekly right now, filming the content and editing the video like the week it goes up, which is not ideal. But I want to try and keep my weekly schedule up through Costume College, just because there's not that much time between now and then, and I do have video ideas. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing them. But I may go on a little bit of a hiatus after Costume College just to sort of collect my life, shoot some more footage, get things together so that I can more calmly put things out, and I'm not still editing at 10 o'clock on Friday morning when I should have put the video up 3 hours ago, but that's fine. That's what's happening. When I'm not doing the gala gown, I will be editing videos, obviously, but I'm also shooting this thing for Glamour. If you saw last month's update video, then you will know that I was contacted by Glamour, those people who do those fashion expert fact checks Disney princess movie things, which have admittedly gotten a little bit better. The first one that they did was a little bit appalling, but the new girl that they brought on seems to know a little bit more what she's doing. But they've asked me to do one, which is really cool, and they've asked me to do Mary Poppins, which is even cooler because like that's my jam. Like that's I mean, it is within my realm of study. I did specify to them like I study from Norman Conquest to World War I. And then of course they came back and said, "Can you do the Notebook?" And I was like, "No." And I'm really glad that I said that because, I mean, yes, I could have done some research and, you know, spat out some information, but I did come back to them and I said, you know, if you choose something that's within the realm that I have devoted my life to actually studying, you will get so much more information. And so they said, let's do Mary Poppins. And I said, great, I can do that. So I submitted like 12 pages and like 35 slides of research, and they were like, great, this is so much information, but it's fine. They'll cut down what they don't want in the video. And so yeah, so I get to sit down and do that. It was supposed to actually be done tomorrow, but they've ended up pushing it for 2 weeks. So like middle of July, I think I'm shooting now. They were using words like on set and like get into hair and makeup, which makes me panic a little bit. I'm not like, I mean, obviously the way that I do my videos is like in the comfort of my own home, talking to a camera, which just feels like you. I don't know how it's going to be like in a room of people with like lights and a lot of camera stuff. And I actually have to like be a professional and entertaining human being who can speak articulately and doesn't just forget how to pronounce words occasionally, more than occasionally. So it's going to be a time. I was panicking about the BBC thing. Oh yeah, oh, I haven't told you about that. Again, if you watched last month's video, you will know that I was interviewed by someone from the BBC, which was really cool. That happened beginning of June while I was still in England, so that was cool. Of course, I was like equally panicking about that, but that went fine. It was just an interview and it was like 45 minutes. It was fine. I still haven't heard anything about that. He did say it would be a while before it went up. I don't know what that means. A while in internet speak could be 3 weeks, or a while in like the general scheme of human history could be like 3 years. I have no clue. The thing that I did was a different sector of the BBC from the thing that Zach Pinsent just did. If you saw Zach Pinsent's video that's gone completely viral, so you probably have, but he filmed that like 2 weeks ago and that went up like this week. So I don't know, we'll see if it ever goes up, but I will let you know. When I'm not furiously sewing, I will be furiously freaking out about talking about Mary Poppins things. It's fine because I did get to rant about corsets for a little bit, so it won't be all so bad. I just sat down to film this video with absolutely no notes. Usually I've got like a sheet of notes of like exactly what I accomplished and exactly what I'm going to accomplish, but I just sat down to film this month, so I don't know what I've just said. What did I accomplish last month? What did you accomplish last month? Oh yeah, I finished Lady Sherlock, which was pretty much my month. I got back from England after the first week of June. It was just Lady Sherlock, but I finished the waistcoat, got that video up. Been working on the coat, and that video is going up. Oh yeah, and then I had to do the research for this Mary Poppins project, which they initially said, according to our schedule, you'll have 3 weeks to research, and then you'll submit it the week before for approval and discussion, and then you'll shoot it after the 4th week. And I was like, great, that's plenty of time. We can do that. And then of course they came back and said, actually, can you have your research in by next week so that we can shoot the week after? They ended up pushing the shoot date, of course. So yeah, I ended up having to like essentially drop everything and do the research because I ended up spending a solid like 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 4 days doing research for this project. If you watched last week's video, then you will know that I was talking a lot about these databases, these publication archives, and that's what I was looking at for this project. I was just reading these 19th century magazines for 4 days. It was tiring, it was exhausting. However, it was the most extraordinary feeling because by the end of the night, like when I got up to make dinner, I'd be like, you sort of feel like you're walking out of a dream, but a dream in which you spent, like you literally time traveled to 1910. It was so cool. Looking back on it, I'm like, that was the most extraordinary experience. Yes, it was exhausting, but I feel like I spent 4 days in 1910, and it was so cool. Reading all of the opinion columns and reading the little bits of things that people were writing, not the big articles, but like the little announcements and that kind of thing. Looking at the advertisements, it was just so cool. I feel like I got a really interesting snapshot of 1910 life. It was amazing. And it's funny, the last day I had to submit the research the next morning, and I was like, I need more picture research. So I was like digging through the Met archives and looking through all these photos from the 19 teens, and it was a section, it was like a folder of photographs taken between 1895 and 1915, I think. I was just looking through these photos, and in an instant it was like, too early, too early, too early, too late. That's it. That's 1910. That's 1908. That's 1909. I suddenly had like this really phenomenal understanding of exactly the development of this fashionable silhouette between 1895 and 1915, to the point where I could, without even reading the description, that's 1908. That's this is my period. This is my period. This is too early. This is too late. So yeah, I'm really kind of weirdly grateful for this project. I was thinking, like, you know, if they asked me to do another, because this other woman who's been doing them has done like 5 of them by now, I would say, no, it's so exhausting. It required so much work. And I literally had to take 4 days off of working on Lady Sherlock just to do this project. I would like maybe not say yes to another one because I don't know if I can take off that kind of time from, you know, my actual job. But looking back on it, it was so useful. It was so incredibly useful to be sort of forced to, because yeah, you can say, I'm gonna spend 4 days reading magazines, but do you ever really? Because if I were to sort of self-autonomously sit down and say, I'm gonna spend 4 days just reading magazines, it would feel a little bit too self-indulgent, like I'm kind of just doing this for myself when I should be doing more productive things like making videos. This was really nice because it had a purpose. I had a reason to be doing it for an actual project. So that was really nice. It was really nice. People who are actual proper historians spend years looking at this kind of stuff, not just 4 days. So yeah, it's sort of extraordinary what one can possibly learn in the world just by reading stuff. But I've gone on this rant before. Anyway, I think at this point I'm just rambling. I don't really have anything else that I accomplished or that I plan to do in July, other than lots and lots of sewing. So we also have Costume College happening at the end of July. I've mentioned this before. This video is all over the place. I'm so super excited about that. I know it's still sort of a thing that's still coming to the attention of a lot of people. It's been around for ages. I only really just became aware of it a couple of years ago and just went for the first time last year. It's so much fun, but it is still a relatively small event that is potentially going to get really, really big probably in the next couple of years because, okay, so this year we've got myself, Morgan Donner, Enchanted Rose Costumes, Noelle of Costuming Drama, Kathy Hay, American Duchess, and I think Cynthia of Red Threaded. All of us are going to be vlogging Costume College. So if you can't go, fear not. There will be so many vlogs of Costume College this year. You will get to vicariously go to Costume College with like 12 different people probably. And these are just the people that I'm aware of. There are probably a lot of other people. There will be lots of Costume College content if you are interested in coming to that. With that means a lot of internet buzz, which means that I think potentially Costume College is going to get very, very big, because it's only just in the last couple of years started to actually get properly big with the dawn, I think, of social media and the Instagram community sort of blowing up. But yeah, historical dress is really becoming a thing. I was just having this conversation with Kathy the other day. how, I mean, of course, with Zach Pinson's Instagram completely blowing up with the BBC thing. I mean, the BBC contacted me to begin with this whole proposal of historical dress is becoming a trend and we want to interview you. Do you mind? So it takes me like 9 hours to film all of my videos because there's just constantly like... But yeah, there's just so many more people paying attention to historical dress now. So many people obviously now getting into it. And not just like historical costuming in the sense of, I'm gonna make a crinoline dress for this Civil War ball that I have coming up. But a lot of people, I think, are sort of into the idea of adopting historical dress for everyday practical purposes, which of course like is what I do. It's my jam. It's what a lot of people like to do. I think it's what a lot of people on the internet, on Instagram, on YouTube are trying to do, which is really, really cool. So this whole community is really starting to get kind of big, which is so magical because hopefully we will never lose our nice community vibe because we all are, I think, such wonderful and supportive people. I haven't really been in many like internet communities, but I feel like this one's really special. We are all so wonderful and so supportive. And sharing research, sharing resources, none of us are like private and possessive of information or trade secrets or anything. Maybe there are some, but as far as I've come across, like nobody's competitive, nobody's really vile. Yeah, I hope we can maintain that as this community grows, but at the same time, I think it's really wonderful that this community is growing because more people, I think, being attracted to the nice, cozy, calming nature of the historical sewing crafting community and hopefully willing to engage in the spirit of making old stuff and exploring new things and learning things and just generally being a supportive human. Why am I on this tangent? Okay, well anyway, I think I'm going to go edit this video now so that you can watch it and I can get back to sewing, and I shall see you again in August. Well, I mean, lots before that because videos are a thing and I put those up weekly apparently. So yeah, I shall talk to you soon and I shall tell you all about Costume College if you haven't already seen. No. Maybe the vlog will be, no, I don't think the vlog will be up by then. Anyway, have a good day, night, whatever it is, and maybe pick up a nice sewing project this week. Do something nice for yourself. Have some cake.